You are now listening to Wave a Sound.
Welcome to Versus Mike History. I am your host, Michael History. In episode 104, J.1.DA and Ahbi joined the podcast to promote Star Time and promote entertainment. We get into Jay's origins as an artist and Ahbi's journey into artist development, how many working parts come together for the success of an artist, and more. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to the podcast wherever you choose to listen. Subscribe to our newsletter for brand updates and podcast recommendations, and join our members-only community on Patreon for access to exclusive content. For everything else, go to versusmikehistory.com. Peace, family. Welcome back to another episode of Versus Mike History. I am your host, Mike History, and today we got Ahbi and J.1.DA in the building. What's going on, brothers? How you doing?
Yo, what's up, man?
Yo.
All right, so we got these two brothers in from Promoter Entertainment, and we're going to go ahead and get into it for a bit, but I want you two to go ahead and introduce yourselves and, do a little introduction.
My name is J.1.DA. I'm from Montclair, New Jersey. I'm an artist. I'm here to, chop it up with y'all. Ahbi.
What's up, man? Ahbi, founder and CEO of Promoter Entertainment. Breaking the world's best independent musicians one city at a time. You know what I'm saying? Also developing musicians. So we here. Thank you for having us.
Welcome, my brothers. So something that I always ask everybody who comes onto the show is, what are y'all listening to right now?
But right now,
Star Time.
I'm listening to my project, my newest project that I'm about to drop. I do listen to, some of my brothers from a lot, Samaj Savage, Soulless, Blaze. I got a list of names, but I definitely listen to the people that I work with a lot.
Definitely. I've been tapped into Drake, obviously. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the new Drake album.
G Herbo, you know what I'm saying? He just dropped a new project. Shout out to them. I've been tapping in with the local artists too. We got Flea, we got Lady J, we got Pearl.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? They've been dropping crazy. This goes on.
A little bit of Kendrick and Cole. I ain't gonna care.
Facts.
Yes, of course. Shout out to all the homies. Shout out to the bigger artists. And let's go ahead and get into the shits. So, J.1.DA, you are an up-and-coming artist from Montclair, New Jersey. Let's go ahead and get into the beginning of your journey. What got you into music, and when did you know that you had the gift of gab?
I started music, and what was this? When I was like 13, 14 years old. I'm trying to remember the year, but me and my team, True Music Entertainment, we were all like, throwing parties and everything like that. And I was rapping at the parties, like on some Diddy shit, like back when Diddy was working and throwing those parties and stuff, and having people come through and do parties performances at his parties and stuff. And then my mom was managing me at the time. And then we ended up getting a deal with Sony for a little bit, and that didn't really work out. So, I just went indie. I stopped for like a couple months because I got discouraged from, the music industry, and just hopped back into it because, I knew that music was, my calling. Also, growing up around a lot of different artists, and people in my family were making music as well. So I was just young, just watching everybody else, and I just ended up developing into an artist. I had different things that I wanted to do. Like I wanted to do sports. I wanted to draw. A lot of the things that I just didn't find a passion in it, as much as I did music. So, now I'm here.
That's dope. You said that you have family that also made music that you were inspired by. What kind of music did they make?
My cousin Taji Ali, he was a rapper, black battle rapper. He was on like the earlier Smack DVDs and things like that. And then he shot his own videos, and he had his own movement and things like that. And I was just like mad young, coming up around them.
Word. That's dope. And Ahbi, my brother, you are running a artist development business over here with Promoted Entertainment. And I want to know at what point did you come to the realization that this is something that you had the gift for and something that you could add your talents to?
Yo, what's good, bro? So Promoted Entertainment really started as another company I founded back in 2019 called New World Audience. It was really just a platform for artists to, create content that they could use to promote themselves. I was living in Austin, Texas, and I realized, very quickly that I was in a hotbed for music, but it wasn't as representative of, all genres and all cultures like people like people think. So
Okay.
I decided to target underrepresented communities and create stages and platforms for artists. Naturally, artists was the lane that I chose. Music because I have a background in artistry and things like that, and so for me, it was a natural lane, and I was passionate about it. And I decided that from there, when the pandemic hit, I was going to expand into helping artists develop, with marketing strategy and things like that, music business. And then, fast forward to 2022, here we are. I'm expanding my talent pipeline. I'm managing artists now. I got J.1.DA, in demand. And then also, I'm building more platforms, building more stages. I'm on my 14th concert right now. I've sold over 1,200 tickets. I work with over 120 musicians. So we working. I got a few more things in the pipeline for 2022, but focus on 2023 right now in the promoted tour.
Yes, sir. Talk that talk. All right, so J.1.DA, back to you. I was reading over your bio, and it spoke about how you collaborated with some Grammy level producers, and it had me wondering the difference between working with a high level producer versus working with somebody who may be up and coming with you, and what you can learn from each experience.
I feel like working with the high level producers and working with the people that are coming up with me is kind of somewhat the same, I guess, because like I was always just like I was watching the people that were already in the industry. I was watching the guys that was coming up with me, so they all inspired me on a level where it's like I look at them like they the same, like on the same level, like they're all trying to create something great. I definitely like from working with J.1.DA and being in the studio with Young Guru and everything. That was a surreal moment, knowing that they created some of the best records of all time that I listen to, still to this day. But I don't. It's all the same for me. Like I feel like they all inspired me in the same way and helped me become a better artist.
Mm. Are there things that you get from the larger artists that you bring to your up and coming producers, like to help them improve in any way, or has that not really happened?
No, it has happened. Patience, just listening and just being open to different ideas because a lot of artists they have this like one sometimes they have like this one track mind with their creativity, like they whatever it is that they want to do, that it just has to be how they want it, and you just have to be open to other people's opinions, especially if they're artists, producers, engineers, what have you.
All right, cool. So I wanted to ask a question to the both of you, but I want J.1.DA to answer first, and it's pertaining to conscious rap. J.1.DA, first and foremost, I want to ask you why you choose to get into the lane of conscious rap, or if it was even a choice of yours at all. And Abi, I wanted to ask you if you feel more inclined to represent and develop conscious rappers versus different types of artists.
Um, I didn't choose conscious rap. I didn't choose any kind of rap. I think it just happened. Like I think it had a lot to do with my upbringing and my environment. Like how I was raised and the type of information that I was exposed to, type of things I was exposed to. Um, that's pretty much it. Like I don't think I picked anything. I think it chose me. I guess you could say that.
Yeah, I want to agree and piggyback off that because that's real. Like anything that I listen to right now, anything that I gravitate towards, it picks me because of what I'm going through at that time. You know what I'm saying? My experiences. I don't care if it's, conscious rap or drill rap or, Jersey club rap. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's all relative to the person and, you know what I'm saying, what they're going through. So.
Word. Very interesting perspective. Okay. So I want to follow up with, the amounts of stages across the country that you've been able to perform on and the experience that takes on you as a developing artist, J.1.DA. In terms of visiting different cities and gaining the experience of actually just traveling and performing, how does that add to the development of you as an artist early on versus like writing for a long time and developing your artistry and then going on tour once you have, I guess, more of a solid catalog?
Well, the traveling and performing thing has had a big effect on my career a lot. I've been to Atlanta and performed I've been to the South and performed a lot, and I learned how the music is out there, how they move it, and how supportive they are, and like just how it is. Like we're like I'm from Jersey, so if I come out there, they're like it's kind of like fresh to them. Like damn, like this is. I feel like I'm just like a newborn coming to a different city, and they go crazy over it. Like it's definitely a humbling experience because I run into like a group of people that are like either on the same level as me or even better when it comes to lyrics, putting the songs together, or even marketing. Like the way they market out of state is ridiculous. The way they support is ridiculous. Like I learned so much when I travel more. So I'm saying, opposed to just staying in just one spot. Because I feel like if I didn't travel, I would be talking about the same thing over and over again. Because I didn't really have that many experiences. I feel like that a lot of rappers experience that too. Like if they stay in one spot, they end up talking about the same shit just in a different way. That's because they not moving around. They're not experiencing life and everything, like for instance, we just was talking about it, like Drake and Cole and them. Like there's sometimes like when Drake be talking flashy, he be saying like I'm at the top of the so and so, and then when I look up what he's talking about, it's like a French word for a hotel that he was at in another country, and it's like I can't understand it because he talking some bullshit, like he talking like some money shit. Like I haven't gotten to that level. I haven't gotten to that level yet where I'm able to move around like that. But it's like he had different experiences with just moving around. Like he's able to talk about more because he's experiencing more in his career. The further he goes, like you know what I'm saying. Like he's able to talk about fatherhood because he has a kid. I can't talk about having a kid if I don't have no kid. But I just put out an album about my nephew and how I want to be an example for him and everything. So I just feel like a lot of that, like that moving around and things like that, it has a lot to do with just experience and being able to take things in, letting it process, and then putting it into the music. I hope that made sense. I just did a lot of rambling just now.
Oh, it definitely made sense. And the point is to ramble. So you did exactly what you were supposed to do. Now, Ahbi, I want to get back to you, my brother. I want to know, in terms of artist development, what are some of the hurdles that go into helping an artist develop their full potential? And I know you got J.1.DA right next to you, but we're gonna try to be as open as possible on this platform.
Yeah, nah, for sure. I mean, I'm all about transparency. So for me, I think the biggest thing that I find is, artist resources and the budget and the time to invest. You know what I'm saying? And you could say, oh, if you're serious about your career, then you're gonna make time, you're gonna find the money. but it's not as easy as it may seem, you know, especially in certain genres for hip hop and R&B, where a lot of these artists are coming out of impoverished neighborhoods, even for like rock and roll, right? Like a lot of those artists come from trailer park communities, you know, and it's tough out here, you know. So for me, it's not about getting them to understand the importance of, you know, the back end and, you know, having money to invest in marketing and ads and things like that. But it's more about helping them get the resources that they need to invest. You know what I'm saying? To be able to make that transition and take their careers to the next level. And so that's what Promoted is here to do, right? One of the only service that we offer is music business coaching, where artists have the opportunity to hire a music business coach, you know, and talk to them and work with them for anything that they need, whether that's brand strategy, content marketing, social media management, career development, website development, like anything that they need, that business coach is equipped to help them. So it's really the closest thing that an artist can get to management, right? It's an advisory role where that person can also execute for you if you need them to, right? So that's what I'm really focused on right now, is giving artists a resource. And a music business coach is a resource. The next level is going to be funding, right? Working with nonprofits and cities to offer grants to artists, you know, and I want to be rolling them things out like every month, right? Like have artist scholarships. Artists need to be applying for these grants for this money every single month. You know what I mean? So that's next level stuff, but we working.
Wait, can I jump in off of something that he said?
Absolutely.
I feel like a lot of artists have to be ready to accept that, to be able to adjust to being organized like that, like how he just broke all of those things down. Because, you know, for as long as I've been doing it, I've worked with so many different people, but everybody that I've worked with, they had different strategies, and some of them were all over the place. And sometimes I think that I could do everything on my own, and I really can't. So when I run into somebody like him, not saying that there's not other people just like him, I'm like, damn, like, all right, well, I need to adjust to this. I need to be comfortable with bending a little bit so I can learn more to bring my shit to the next level, because I don't want to just stay a local artist. Like, yeah, I put out albums, I have a lot of content, but sometimes it won't mean nothing if I don't have these things that he just broke down behind me. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I just wanted to jump in and say that, because I thought that was a good, take that he just made.
Word. I actually want to follow up with a question, because you brought up an interesting point, which is like we're living in an era where artists have the opportunity to receive more ownership for their content more than ever. And I'm curious to know, as an artist, from your perspective, do you think that this has given artists more has this empowered artists more, or are they still looking, or artists still taking, you know, the shortcuts to success? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like we should be living in a time where artists are more business minded, but somehow artists are still falling for traps and bad deals and things of that nature. So it's just really conflicting when, you know, we're living in a time where realistically people should be retaining the rights to their music more than ever before.
I definitely feel like everything is right now is at our disposal. Like, we can literally do, you can become the biggest artist in the world from your house. Like, you can literally, from a computer, from this tablet right now, like I could literally create a whole thing. And then you have that person who does that and that's willing to go out and be outside and really build their fan base. And then you have the people that want the microwave shit. They want to get it in a way where they go to a label and the label builds them up and puts them out and everything like that. But they don't know what's in their contract. They don't know what who their lawyers are, what they don't even know them by first name basis. They don't even know what their accountant is doing and none of that. Like, I just feel like it's kind of like half and half. I don't know if I went off from what you said, because my brain just went somewhere else.
No, you are good.
As the industry shifts, there need to be people in place to help people adjust to that industry. And when the music industry shifted, based on, you know, how the economy shifted, there wasn't anybody to help the people who are going to be left behind naturally.
Right.
Like the same thing that happens, you know, when you think about just like, you know, social economics in general, with the 1% and the middle class, things like that. Like, you know, somebody's going to be left behind. And if there aren't programs in place to help those people, then right? Like then it all
Mhm.
goes to shits. So right now, for independent artists, there needs to be more infrastructures like Promoted Entertainment who are here to, invest in the artists and give them the resources, help them find those resources, connect with them that they need to get to that next level. So the coaching and the knowledge that they need is one aspect. It's available, but you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink it, right? And they don't. Sometimes they might not even know how to digest it because they might be drinking from a fire hose versus a water spout.
Contaminated water and everything. That's just like, you know what I'm saying?
Everything
like
coming at you.
But that's just like society, period. Like, if it's people out here that don't know how to find homes or like good education, but if they don't have the proper knowledge or people that help direct them, then they just a lost cause.
Exactly. And everything could be coming at you, but you need somebody to help you filter through all that noise.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of information out here. Even though it's accessible, don't mean that people know what's right for them, right? And a coach and somebody to help you kind of sift through that is needed right now, especially for independent artists.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. There just needs to be more programs for, I mean, even in our communities outside of music, there just needs to be more programs to keep people educated with how quickly the world is shifting.
Right.
But J.1.DA, I wanted to pivot and ask you a question about your supporting sets. Because you have quite a lengthy list of people you've supported. And I'm curious to know, what sort of game have you soaked up from those artists, if you've got an opportunity to speak with any of them, and how's the experience in general?
I've received a lot of game from a lot of the guys that I have supported and worked with. I just go for what you want, no matter what nobody say. I know it sounds cliche and all of that rhyme. Yeah, go for what you want, no matter what nobody says, and just be open to a lot of different things, and just you can't be lazy with this shit.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be lazy. I wake up every day and try to figure out how I could be a better human being and how I can be a better artist, and then I try to think like, well, how are you going to be a better artist? So I go and learn from my friends. I watch my friends like Samad, and I watch Ahbi with the things that he do and things like that. Like, I thought that I knew everything that there was to know about the business until, my mother started managing me, and then Ahbi was managing me, and my old manager Driller was managing me, and things like that. And my other manager Edo, I had a couple managers, and then like I finally found something that was like really fit for me. And it was really about like patience, knowing how to hustle, being on point no matter what the fuck is going on. Like, it was something that Ahbi had said to me earlier when I was at work, and he was like, yo, people got families and a whole bunch of stuff going on in their personal life, but they get up and make sure they get to work on time and make sure they have all the documents and everything that they need ready to get the task done. Like, not making excuses. Like, just make sure. I know life is going to hit you regardless. Life going to hit us from all different types of directions, but it's just kind of like how you handle it. Like, even that's why, like, yo, even if you got to go to therapy, whatever you got to do to get yourself right, to make sure you get your shit done, you got to do that. Like, you got to put in, you got to make that deposit, So, that's my answer to that. I made it a little personal, but I felt like I needed to.
Absolutely. And there's no problem with that. All right, my brothers. So, you got the 7th studio album coming up soon. And I know that
crazy. That sounded crazy. You had to see Ahbi's face just now. Like, he was like, damn.
Yeah. It's a grand feat, something to definitely take pride in. But I know you brothers been working hard on this project, so I am curious to get both of your perspectives on the processes taken to create this latest body of work.
I'm gonna give Ahbi the floor. I'm gonna give Ahbi the floor before I start talking.
This project was created in the midst of so much that he had going on outside of the studio. He was recording with J.1.DA and the city of Newark in New York, literally every week back and forth, and while also going to the studio to record tracks for this album for Start Time. You know, he was going to the VMAs. He was also performing on stage doing his own shows. Then he ended up performing at 24 Hours of Peace, one of the biggest music festivals in the city. So all of that happened, and he finished Start Time literally right when that finished, when all of that finished. So he was working concurrently, like they were both happening at the same time, which is insane. So just imagine the energy that had to go into that, the time that had to go into that, you know what I'm saying, and the focus, because, you know, it's a lot of distractions going on, like, you know, from the shows, the appearances, the parties, everything, you know what I'm saying? You got to stay focused and hit the studio and meet a deadline, and he met all of them, you know what I'm saying? And here we are ready to release it. So
And you know what? Yo, there was a point in time where J.1.DA was hitting me. He would hit us up and be like, yo, we gotta go to what's the underground spot in New York? The Soho House in New York City, to do a performance. And I was kind of at random. It was probably like a day before, 2 days before. And mind you, you need more time to prepare for a show. Mind you, we didn't even know that we was going to perform or get on stage. Jerry got on stage and started playing music, and then he wanted to bring up, you know, all of us and perform songs from the album that we working on with J.1.DA, called The Other Side of North, with you know, Do It All and Mayor Ras Baraka. It was just a lot of things were like spontaneous, so I just had to adjust to that. You understand what I'm saying? With trying to find a job, and you know, and getting myself ready, and yo, you got to get your hair done. Your haircut appointment is at this time, and then figure out how the fuck I'm going to travel to get that done and get to the show on time and get there before. Because you know, when you do shows, you gotta arrive at least like an hour or 30 minutes before for check-in, not before your actual performance. Because if you don't check in, then they just gonna assume that you're not performing. Am I right? You're not performing. You understand what I'm saying? So, because you got to get your credentials and all of that. Like, even for the VMAs, and put you on for the VMAs, I think we had to, what was that, like a day or 2 or 3 days before, we had to go get tested for COVID. We had to go get tested for COVID in order to walk the red carpet. So if your shit came up negative, if your shit came up positive, you're not walking. Mind you, we had like famous designers making our fits and everything way before. So a lot of money went into that. And then if your shit come up positive, then we don't give a fuck about whether you did all of that. So a lot of shit was just on God's timing, like, I guess. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just chalk it up to God. You know, a lot of that was I was just working in between all of that stuff. Like, you know, like I wasn't gonna mention this again in an interview, but we ran into Jack Harlow in a fucking hotel. You know, like he just popped out. Like, he was literally across from the hotel that we was staying in and getting ready. And he looked out and gave us a head nod type shit. And I'm just like, damn, like, we staying in a hotel full of celebrities, and then we got the SWAT team blocking off both ends of the street, making sure we get there safely. You know what I'm saying? That was just like a crazy experience. Like, a lot of this stuff was going on while I was dealing with my personal stuff with like mental health and my family stuff and all of that, and just trying to get myself right as a person. Like, you know, like, it was just a lot. I had a lot on my plate creating Star Time. You know, and then when I read success stories, like, I heard that DMX, it took him like what, like 10 years to get his first, like, you know, number one. And then if correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if you know about DMX's career. He put out what, like 2 double platinum albums in 1 year.
Yes, he did.
That was with his first album, and Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood. Like, that like, how the fuck do you do that? But then I'm thinking about what I'm going through. I'm like, oh, he probably was moving like how I was moving. You feel what I'm saying? And that's baby steps compared to, you know, on an industry level, how he was moving, because he was fucking with Swiss and all of them. Like, come on, man. Like that was like it was exhausting. It was humbling, and it was definitely a learning experience, but I definitely had fun. And when it come to my ego, I definitely wanted to flex a little bit. Like, damn, I did that. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. All right, fellas, it's been a pleasure. I appreciate you coming on the podcast and talking about Jay, your musical journey, and Ahbi, your journey with developing promoted entertainment. And I just want you guys to both let the people know where they can find you online so that they can look you up and we can, you know, build each other up and get some more fans, man. More supporters.
No more, bro. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for having us on. More blessed to see your podcast too, King. I see you working out here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So you can find me on Instagram, _ J.1.DA. On Twitter, it's Destined to Achieve. You can just type in J.1.DA in the search bar and it's gonna come up. I'm on Tumblr, but I don't be on it. I don't even know if anybody else is on Tumblr, but you know, it's just J.1.DA.
YouTube, J.1.DA.
YouTube, I said YouTube, J.1.DA. On all the DSPs is just J.1.DA. What else? What up? Facebook, J.1.DA.
If you be on Facebook,
but Facebook going up though. What else is there? I have a Snapchat, TikTok. But you know, TikTok, J.1.DA, because TikTok is in. And then there's Snapchat, which is J.1.DA, that's spelled the same way on the DSPs, which is J.1.DA. I want to say that I am dropping a film with my album Star Time. Is going to be premiered at the Clare Ridge Theater in Montclair on November 17th. And then the next day I have my release party, which is November 18th. And that's the day that the album is actually dropped on all DSPs. And, you know, everybody can get it and, you know, listen to it. Also, if you want to purchase tickets to my event, we have a link called Mic Check. It's on the Promoted Entertainment page. You can click the link and it's on my page as well. And you have the option to pick the bundle, which is $30 for the bundle. And you can get, you know, the ticket to the premiere and the listening party, or you can, you know, buy the tickets online for the movie premiere or the listening party, which are $20. And if you want to pay at the door, it's going to be $30. So, yeah, choose wisely. Pick a card, any card. Peace and love. My name is J.1.DA. I represent True Music Entertainment and Promoted Entertainment. I love y'all. Keep succeeding. And thank you for having me on your platform, brother.
Thank you. Thank you. And peace, peace, peace.
Peace.